Welcome to English with Anna. Hello, everyone. How are you today? I really hope you are doing well and feeling relaxed. Come in, sit down. Today, we are going to have a very fun and very real conversation. Today, I am going to tell you all about my morning routine, but not just any morning routine. My morning routine as a mother of 2 children. Yes, I have 2 kids. My daughter Emma is 6 years old and my son Lucas is 3. And let me tell you, mornings in our house are never, ever boring. In today's story, you will hear lots of useful English words and expressions that you can use in everyday life. Words about family, about mornings, about cooking, about getting children ready for school. I will speak slowly and clearly, as always, so please relax and enjoy the story. But before we start, I have a small question for you. Listen carefully to find the answer in the story. Today's question: what does Anna's son Lucas do that makes her laugh every morning? The answer is somewhere inside the story. When you find it, please write your answer in the comments below. Even one short sentence in English is wonderful practice. Are you ready? Let's go. Every morning, my alarm goes off at 6 o'clock, 6 in the morning. And here is a secret. The reason I set my alarm for 6 is not because I need to be somewhere at 6. It is because I need 30 minutes of quiet time before my children wake up. 30 minutes that belong only to me. No questions, no crying, no one calling, "Mommy, Mommy, Mommy." Just me, the quiet kitchen, and my coffee. I get up as quickly and as quietly as I can. I tiptoe. That means I walk very softly on my toes so I do not make any noise, out of the bedroom and down the hallway to the kitchen. I do not turn on the big light because that feels too bright and too sudden for 6 in the morning. Instead, I turn on just the small light above the stove. It gives the kitchen a soft, warm glow. I love it. I make my coffee first. Always. Coffee is not optional in this house. I use a drip coffee maker. That is a machine that slowly drips hot water through coffee grounds to make a pot of coffee. While the coffee is brewing, I stand at the kitchen window and look outside. Our backyard is small but beautiful. There's a big oak tree and a little garden with flowers. In the early morning light, everything looks peaceful and still. For those few minutes, I just breathe. I just exist. I don't check my phone, I don't make a to-do list, I just stand there with my warm coffee and my quiet kitchen, and I feel genuinely grateful. I use those 30 minutes to do a few small things for myself. I drink my coffee slowly, I might eat a small snack, a banana or a piece of toast with peanut butter. I write 2 or 3 sentences in my journal, just a quick note about how I'm feeling or what I want to focus on today. And sometimes, if I'm feeling really good, I do 10 minutes of gentle stretching right there in the kitchen. Not yoga, not a workout, just slow, easy stretching. It helps my body wake up without the stress. These 30 minutes are so important to me. Before I became a mother, I did not understand why parents talked so much about needing quiet time. Now I completely understand. Those 30 minutes help me feel like a person, not just a mom, before the beautiful chaos of the morning begins. And at 6:30, right on schedule, the chaos begins. At 6:30, I go to my daughter Emma's room first. Emma is 6, and she is what I call a natural morning person. She's usually already half awake when I open her door, lying there with her eyes open, staring at the ceiling, thinking about something very important, like whether unicorns could beat dinosaurs in a race. I say good morning, I give her a hug, and she immediately starts talking. Full sentences, full energy at 6:30 in the morning. I honestly do not know where she gets it. I tell her it's time to get up and get ready. She hops out of bed immediately. Hops means she jumps up quickly like a little bunny and runs to the bathroom. Emma loves to brush her teeth. She sings while she brushes every single morning. She has a little song she made up herself, and she sings it for exactly 2 minutes. I think it is the most adorable thing in the world. After she brushes her teeth, she washes her face, and then she comes to find me so I can help her choose her outfit for the day. Choosing Emma's outfit is a whole process. She has very strong opinions about her clothes. She loves colors, especially pink and yellow and purple, ideally all 3 at the same time. Most mornings, I try to gently guide her towards something that matches, like maybe the pink shirt, but not with the purple striped leggings and the yellow polka dot socks all together. Some mornings I succeed. Some mornings she goes to school looking like a very happy, very colorful little rainbow. And honestly, good for her. Life is too short to worry about matching socks. Then I go to Lucas's room. Lucas is 3, and Lucas is the opposite of a morning person, completely. When I open his door, he's usually curled up in a tight little ball under his blanket, and he does not want to move. I say, "Good morning, Lucas, time to wake up," and he says, every single morning without fail, he says, "No, it's still nighttime." Even when the sun is fully up and shining through his curtains, even in the summer when it's been bright outside since 5 in the morning, he insists it's still nighttime, every single day. I can't help it. I laugh every time. It's the funniest, most stubborn little thing. Getting Lucas out of bed requires patience, negotiation, and sometimes bribery. Bribery means offering someone something nice in exchange for doing what you want. For Lucas, the magic words are, "Do you want to come and have your special breakfast?" He has a special bowl, a blue bowl with dinosaurs on it, and he loves it so much that sometimes the promise of the dinosaur bowl is enough to get him out of bed. I'm not proud of this strategy, but I'm also not sorry. A mother does what a mother must. Once both children are up, which feels like a small victory every single morning, we all go to the kitchen together. This is the busiest and loudest part of our morning. 2 children, 1 kitchen, 1 mom, and approximately 1,000 things that need to happen at the same time. I start making breakfast while Emma and Lucas sit at the kitchen table. I try to make breakfast simple on weekday mornings. We do not have time for anything complicated. Usually it is scrambled eggs, oatmeal, or toast with butter and jam. Lucas loves his dinosaur bowl more than the food itself, honestly. He will eat almost anything if it is in that blue bowl. Emma, on the other hand, has a very specific list of foods she will and will not eat, and that list changes every week. Last week, she loved oatmeal. This week, she says oatmeal is disgusting. I do not argue. I just make toast. While breakfast is cooking, I am also packing the children's school bags. Emma's school bag needs her reading book, her lunchbox, her water bottle, her library book if it is library day, her PE kit if it is PE day, and a healthy snack. Lucas's nursery bag needs a change of clothes in case of accidents because he is 3 and accidents still happen, his favorite small toy, his lunchbox, and a nap blanket because he still naps in the afternoon. I check the bags every single morning because if I forget even one thing, I will absolutely get a message from the teacher. After breakfast, I wipe the children's faces. Lucas always has jam somewhere on his cheek without fail. And then we move into the getting dressed part of the morning. Emma usually dresses herself now, which is wonderful. She is proud of her independence, and I am proud of her too, even when the outfit is a little creative. Lucas needs help. Dressing a 3-year-old who does not want to be dressed is a genuine physical challenge. He goes limp. That means his whole body goes soft and heavy like a noodle, so it is very hard to put his arms through his sleeves. I do not know how he does it. It is actually impressive. While all of this is happening, I am also getting myself ready. I change out of my pajamas, brush my hair, wash my face, and put on some clothes. I do not have time for much else in the morning. A little face cream, maybe a quick touch of mascara, that's it. I have made peace with that. Before children, I used to take 45 minutes to get ready in the morning. Now I can be showered, dressed, and ready in 12 minutes flat. It is a skill I did not know I was developing. At 8 o'clock, or sometimes 8:02 or 8:04, because we are usually just slightly late, we leave the house. This is called the school run. The school run means the trip you make every morning to take your children to school. It is called a run, not because you literally run, although some days, honestly, we do run a little, but because it is quick and rushed and you do it every single day without stopping. I help both children put on their shoes by the front door. This is another whole process. Emma can put her own shoes on, but she always puts them on the wrong feet first, then laughs about it, then fixes them. Lucas cannot tie laces yet, so he wears shoes with Velcro straps. Those are the little fasteners that stick together and make a satisfying ripping sound when you pull them apart. I zip up their coats, I put on my own coat, I pick up my bag, and I do one final check. Keys, phone, wallet, children. If all four are present, we are ready. We walk to school together. Emma's school and Lucas's nursery are both in the same direction, so I drop Emma off first and then take Lucas around the corner. The walk takes about 12 minutes. During those 12 minutes, my children talk to me constantly. Emma tells me everything that she is thinking about her friends, about a dream she had, about a question she has about the universe. This morning, she asked me why the sky is blue, and then, before I could answer, she asked why clouds are white, and then why some clouds are gray. I gave her my best answers. Some were correct, some were creative. Lucas walks slowly. He stops to look at everything. A leaf on the ground, a dog on the other side of the street, a puddle, a snail on the garden wall, a bird on a roof. He notices the whole world. And even though we are usually slightly in a hurry, I try not to rush him too much, because I think that sense of wonder, that ability to find every small thing in the world interesting and worth stopping for, is one of the most beautiful things about being 3 years old. I don't want to take that from him. I drop Emma at her classroom door. She gives me a quick hug, runs inside, and immediately starts talking to her best friend. She does not look back. That used to make me a little sad, that she just runs in without looking back. But now I think it means she feels safe and happy to be there, and that's exactly what I want. I drop Lucas at his nursery. He gives me a very long hug. He holds on for an extra moment, and then he lets go, waves, and walks in. Every morning, I stand outside for just a few seconds after the door closes, and I take one long, quiet breath. And then I walk home alone, in the quiet, and it is wonderful, and I already miss them a little. That's motherhood. That's every morning in our house, loud and chaotic and warm and beautiful and absolutely exhausting, and I wouldn't change a single minute of it.
Now it is your turn. I will say a sentence and you repeat it out loud after me. Speak slowly, speak clearly. Every time you practice out loud, you improve. Ready? Here we go. My alarm goes off at 6 o'clock every morning. Repeat. My alarm goes off at 6 o'clock every morning. I tiptoe quietly to the kitchen so I do not wake the children. Repeat. I tiptoe quietly to the kitchen so I do not wake the children. I always make coffee first. Coffee is not optional in this house. Repeat. I always make coffee first. Coffee is not optional in this house. I stand at the window and feel grateful for the quiet morning. Repeat. I stand at the window and feel grateful for the quiet morning. My daughter Emma is a natural morning person. She wakes up full of energy. Repeat. My daughter Emma is a natural morning person. She wakes up full of energy. Emma hops out of bed and runs straight to the bathroom to brush her teeth. Repeat. Emma hops out of bed and runs straight to the bathroom to brush her teeth. My son Lucas insists it is still nighttime even when the sun is shining. Repeat. My son Lucas insists it is still nighttime even when the sun is shining. I pack the children's school bags while breakfast is cooking. Repeat. I pack the children's school bags while breakfast is cooking. We leave the house at 8 o'clock for the school run. Repeat. We leave the house at 8 o'clock for the school run. I drop the children off and then walk home alone in the quiet. Repeat. I drop the children off and then walk home alone in the quiet. Our mornings are exhausting and chaotic and beautiful. I love every minute. Repeat. Our mornings are exhausting and chaotic and beautiful. I love every minute. How was it? I really hope you enjoyed the story and learned some useful new English words about family, mornings, and children. You did such a wonderful job today. You listened to the full story, you learned new vocabulary, and you practiced speaking out loud. That is real progress, and you should feel very proud. Now, let me ask today's question one more time. What does Anna's son Lucas do every morning that makes her laugh? Did you find the answer? Please write it in the comments below. Even one simple sentence is perfect. I read every single comment and I love hearing from you. If this video helped you, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Share it with someone who is learning English, a friend, a family member, a colleague. The more we learn together, the better we all become. I will see you in the next video. Until then, keep listening, keep speaking, and keep going. You are doing so much better than you think. See you next time. Bye.